Hello, welcome back. Yes, I'm back to talk about monsters. It's been a while, so for those of you who have been missing me talking about monsters, this is also where I'll be making monsters because I'll be doing that with your help. So yes, I have a monster for you, the Coraphage or the Coraphage, whichever way you want to pronounce it. My suggestion to you is, since I'm going to be doing a presentation, very short presentation, then going into the monster creation with you, where we will make an actual monster, I would like you to grab some food, some drink, make sure you're comfortable. I'm going to put up a poll. Feel free to take part in that poll. You will need some dice. If you don't have dice, then you're going to have to make up some numbers, okay? Something like that, because we're going to do some dice rolling later on after I've done this presentation. So, no further ado, let's just get it done. Let's cover the topic, which today is the Coraphage. And it comes from Esper's Emporium of Esoterica, and we have the Tomb of Beasts here, the Tome of Beasts, should I say. Each of them are very good at what they do, which is always nice. Okay. Hi, welcome to How to RPG. My name is Fred Wheeler, and today I want to talk about monsters and role-playing games. Monsters in your role-playing games, probably something like that. Could be Pathfinder, Dungeons and Dragons, doesn't matter. But actually, this monster is a Dungeons and Dragons 5e monster. It's an Esper's Emporium of Esoterica, and I have been given the privilege of covering his monsters for probably the next few years. And today's monster is the Coraphage, the monster lore for this creature. It is a 5e compatible creature. There is a stat block, but there's a lot of lore, and I want to talk about the lore today. A coral crawler, the Coraphage, can move across jagged coral surfaces without slowing down or being slowed down by difficult terrain. And it doesn't suffer injuries when it does this. The Coraphage has a rhino-sized body. It's a crustacean. It has a rocky coral growth all over its body, and it looks very unusual. It kind of also looks like a crab, and maybe in some respects a tortoise or turtle. The Coraphage inhabits usually sea coasts or marine environments. It eats an omnivorous. It's an omnivorous consumer. Its diet consists of sea plants, fish usually. It also has an unusual habit in that the Coraphage will consume coral from a coastal or ocean reef. It can actually feed off the coral itself. Behaving both as an ambush predator and a scavenger, the Coraphage has a very flexible food hunting approach. Coraphages produce an acidic substance from their mouth that breaks down organic matter as well as rock and coral. Now, stranger still is the Coraphage's ability to spray a secretion from its body that rapidly calcifies and causes sharp coral-like growth to form on a surrounding surface. While a Coraphage is little more than an animal, it does display a tendency to add to its complicated carapace. Now, why is that? Well, we're not entirely sure. When the Coraphage eats prey, including humanoids, it can transform a small portion of the prey's body to appear as a calcified formation among the growths on its body. So it's almost as if when it eats, say, a goblin head could appear, or face could appear on its body as well. So if one closely studies the Coraphage and its carapace, you'll notice various details can be found, such as appendages that are coming off it, facial bone structures blended into the stone relief of its body, and the contours and nooks and crannies that make up its coral-like body. Now, the Coraphage, that collection feature, not only includes bits of its consumed prey, but also very tiny living creatures. So small fish, crustaceans, and sea spiders live within the crevices of the Coraphage's body, forming like an aquatic community of their very own. If a Coraphage stays motionless, then this large crab-like beast just looks like another piece of normal coral or formation of coral. And then, of course, when you actually do encounter this thing, the reef-encrusted rocks animate, rising up to reveal a large crab-like beast with a complex variety of coral growing from the carapace. This is the Coraphage. And out of all the monsters that I've seen in Esper's Emporium of Esoterica, this is one of the more bizarre creatures out there. This is certainly one of my favorites currently, and I'm enjoying the fact that it is so strange, and the way that it operates, the way that it adds to its own body by calcifying something, is really quite cool. Now, I hope you found this useful. I want to say a big, huge thank you to Esper the Bard for providing me with the artwork and the information on this and allowing me to do these videos. I also want to thank my patrons and you for watching. Really do thank you. Hopefully it was useful to you. And hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s. And we're back. And that was the Coraphage for today. I know that's not a lot of information. I did not add a lot of additional stuff to this. What I will do is, Esper's asked me that I at least show you the stat block and the page section from the book. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to jump over to that screen in a second and show you what you can expect from it. I believe this is the one here. And if I go down to this, that would bring up that. And I just need to go over to Esper's book. And that should be it. There we go. The Coraphage. Here we go. So this is the the section out of the book, the Coraphage, that Esper's got. The artwork, there's nothing wrong with the artwork. The artwork is very much kind of the standard you would expect for Dungeons and Dragons 5e. Most artwork tends to have sort of this sort of style to it. But you'll notice that this thing is quite tough. It's a challenge rating 5 creature. You know, it's got armor class 17. It's got a few hit points. It's got 104 hit points. It's got a swimming speed, but it also has a climbing speed. Much to my surprise, this thing is apparently capable of climbing up a surface. It has a sort of a walking speed as well outside of water, and it's quite strong. It's not highly intelligent. It's only got an intelligence of 3, but that's certainly better than a wolf. You know, it's not a bestial creature. It's slightly smarter than that. And it's got blind sight up to 30 feet. Okay, it's a very stealthy creature. So its intention is that you wouldn't really notice it. That's why it has false appearance in the stat block. And the coral growth, which it can use two times per day, this is what actually sort of transforms something into sharp coral growths, which is a really peculiar feature, but really quite clever too. It's amphibious, so it breathes air and water, and it can walk along a coral surface. You know, it's not slowed down by those rocky, spiky terrain that you'll get with coral or a coastal surface. So it can move quite quickly in its home environment. And it only has, I mean, it's very simple in terms of its attacks. It only has got a bite and a claw. I think the standout feature is the coral growth feature out of everything else. It is not really designed, in my opinion, to be a monster that is going to necessarily attack you. It just sees you as food. You know, I think that's really what it is. It's got a animosity towards anybody. It just considers everything else food. And unfortunately, because it is omnivorous, everything is essentially food. So yeah, I'm hoping that this will inspire you to consider checking out his stuff. There is a sample of his work down in the description and also a link to his book if you're interested. This is not a sponsored video, so I do not get paid to do this. But if I was going to talk about monster lore and somebody else's monster lore that's already been created, I would much prefer to talk about a third-party publisher than Wizards of the Coast, which is why I do Esper the Bard. Okay, right, let's make a monster today. For those of you who are here and have your dice ready, or at least your brains working, let's do some monster creation. And let me just chuck myself back over here, get rid of that screen for now, and close this down, I'll make it clear I cannot provide you with the notes for the Coraphage because it's not my publication, so I can't put that up onto Patreon, okay? But it seems to me a lot of the patrons have been saying, well, not a lot of them, but some of them have been saying they would like the monsters we create during these live streams to go up onto the Patreon. So they will be in a rough form, a draft form, and not in a complete form. The artwork that we generate from artificial intelligence will be there, but again, that would not be the final artwork that I would use if I was to use a creature in a publication. They are just conceptual stuff. So yeah, so I'm happy to do that sort of thing. That's all good. All right. I'm going to grab some dice. So if those of you who are here who do not have percentile dice, you really need to have percentile dice, or you need to shout out some numbers. Okay, and we'll go from there. So it looks like we're doing land. We've got how many votes? We have one vote. One vote. Man, I've been away for 3 weeks, and everybody has assumed that I don't live stream anymore. Or maybe is it simply because people are sick and tired of it? Maybe that it's time for me to end these programs that I run. Who knows? We'll see. Okay, so I've got some percentile dice. I've got some 20-sided dice here as well, just in case. And we are making a land monster. So let me just find our first thing. This is what we want first. Okay, so this is these are tables that I made up. These are still in trial or test mode, so they're not available on Patreon yet. A lot of the other stuff will be that I'm showing you, but these are, as I said, they're still in the trial stage. I am still not convinced that they are necessarily going to work as well as I would like, and they are not finished in any way, shape, or form. So our first task is we're going to get you to roll some percentile dice to create the creature. When we're doing a land-based creature or monster, there's a couple of things we need to generate. We're going to either decide on, is our land-based creature going to be bipedal, or is it going to be a quadruped? That's sort of the big question to start with. All right, let's see if I got my chat up. Okay, is it working? Doesn't look like it's working. Let's try again. And are you kidding me? All right, so I've got to watch an ad apparently. That was unexpected, and an unskippable ad at that. You've got to be kidding. All right, no, they're not kidding. Hashtag. Let's do hashtag bipedal or quadruped. This is what I need to know first. That would be our first task, okay, is to decide whether we're going to have a bipedal creature, which is on 2 legs, or a quadruped, which is going to be on 4 legs. So while you're typing into the chat and deciding on which way to go, I will rock up back to our table that we had before. We have 100 items here, as you can see, and we will roll on here. So I'm going to roll since nobody else is rolling, and I'll start calling out some of these, and we'll see how we go. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is roll for the head, and I've rolled a 91. So unless anybody else is rolling dice, it would be good if you were. But hashtag roll percentile dice for head, body, and legs. Okay, all right, so I got a 91, so unless nobody else rolls, 91 in this case is the velociraptor. So we'll take our velociraptor legs, copy, and we'll drop it into our blank sheet here. No, it's going to be a velociraptor head, isn't it? Not legs. And we're going to do this unformatted, without formatting, with formatting. No, there we go. Velociraptor. So we've got like a dinosaur head. What's our body going to be? Percentile dice again. Back here. Let's see what we get. I'm going to be using AI art to draw this thing, by the way, as a conceptual drawing. So we've got a 1. Number 1. What is number 1? It's an aardvark body. An aardvark. So let's grab the aardvark, copy that, drop that into the body. Okay. Since nobody's decided whether we want to have a quadruped or a bipedal creature, if we have a bipedal creature, we would have upper limbs as well, like arms. And so nobody's mentioned anything, so we're going to go with a quadruped, so 4-legged. And we'll roll again, and our last selection is a 49. So 49, what is 49? 49 is Lemire. Okay, copy. And paste that in. I'll undo that. Why did I do that there? It should have come out. Formatting. Okay. So this should be italicized as well, shouldn't it? Yep, that's better. Okay, cool. All right. Next on our task is we're going to do percentile dice. We're going to be rolling for the monster's special ability. So hashtag roll percentile dice for monster body. Okay. If you don't have percentile dice with you, you could just roll and just call out a number between 1 and 100. The did I say monster body? I said monster body. That's not right. Hashtag roll percentile dice for monster, and we're up to special feature. So our special feature is what we use our action for. Okay, something that it actually does. 28, Pale Rider. Thank you, Pale Rider, for showing up today. I appreciate the feedback. Right, so 28. Now we're on the ball. We're on a ball now. Let's see what we got here. So special ability 28. Enslave. The creature can enslave the body or soul of others. Kind of had this one before, but we'll grab it, copy it, and we'll drop it into here as a special ability. Okay, it's that. I will take this information here and I'm going to drop it into Starry AI. So we'll go to create and we'll go with art. And actually I want to pull off, where is it? We did some monsters not so long ago. I want to just pull this, copy this bit here. Copy that bit there. It'll just save a bit of time. We need to plug this in, don't we, and get the monster drawing itself up. So let's go here. A monster with the head of a, now we had a velociraptor, I believe. It is the head of a, let's just go dinosaur. Does it need to be velociraptor? Oh, no, I think we can just go velociraptor. We'll be specific. We'll see how that goes. If we be really specific about what we want. What's that, Power Rider? We can do a lot over if if the power is a repeat. Yep, we could try something else. If you want to try, yeah, we could try 53 and see how that works. Yeah, absolutely. I'll check out 53 in a second. Let's just put in the information for our creature, Velociraptor, with the body of a, it's not a mudfish this time. What was the body supposed to be? I can't remember. An aardvark. Oh, God. So an armored body. It's going to have an armored body of some kind. Okay. And paste that. An aardvark and the legs of a lemur. Lemur? It's a lemur, right? I'm pretty sure that's lemur. So it's not going to be outrageous, I guess. So we're going to do a couple of runs. We'll do, oh look, okay, so we've got Lyra. We'll do how many runs? We want to do as many as possible. It's going to be portrait, no starting image because we don't want to affect that. We want it to just sort of generate its own stuff. So this is a combination of 3 different animals. We press the button and we do the first one. So it's building the first one, and then we'll change our style to, no, anime won't work, but Hydra might. It's a bit more expensive, but we'll do that one. Hydra. Okay. And then after Hydra, we will do portrait. No, I think portraits almost just always come out as humanoids. Abstract world won't work. Fantasy may. We'll try fantasy. Okay, and we've got fantasy working. And next, Argo. I've found Argo to be mostly useless, but we'll do it anyway. You never know. And then Argo 2 also I've found to be pretty bad, but we'll do it. And then 3D art sometimes actually has good results, so we can probably do 3D art. And then synthetic wave, no, I don't think so. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so I've got a few different things coming up now. We'll come back. We'll see. What's this first one look like? All right, so it's got sort of the velociraptor head, kind of. It's not the best. It's trying to do the aardvark body and give the legs of the okay, all right, well, that's interesting. We'll come back to this. We'll come back to this. Let's continue. Let's do the special abilities. I believe special abilities for 53. Pale Rider had suggested 53 instead of the 28, rather than enslave. Let's put down both and see where we go with this. Parasitic would be 53. The creature feeds on and lays its eggs inside other creatures. Lovely. That's exactly what we want. Okay, copy that. Let's put that in there as well. So drop that down. Paste. All right, so now we've got our special features, and we might make some adjustments to this. I think that might probably definitely going to happen. Let's do our monster traits. Be our next thing, I would imagine. So monster traits are things that are always turned on. So let's go with hashtag roll percentile dice for monster traits. Now with monster traits, you might have just one monster trait, you might have two, you might find that because there is 100, these, so for example, the monster special powers table is available on Patreon, and so is the monster traits. They're all complete, okay, at least in their first draft. These are things that are always on, so you could select one of them, and then as you look at the monster and what we've selected, you might want to add in a few things, you know, particularly if you've got a creature that's amphibious, you know, that lives in the sea or ocean. Sometimes it's a good idea to add things like it can breathe underwater, it can swim, things like that. We don't need to necessarily do that with our monster traits or features. These are always on, they don't require an action. That's why you see things like infrared vision, or invisible, or kangaroo black hole is another question. But so there's a whole bunch of them. There's at least up to 100 different, rather really standard sort of monster features, but some really strange, bizarre ones as well. So Pale Rider, if you're able to roll up some dice for that one, we'll add in our creature's trait, and hopefully it marries in with everything else. Sometimes these don't work, and you might have to roll again. Sometimes they just don't fit. Let's grab some water. So for those of you who haven't been here before, what we normally do is we roll up its different features. So it make up the monster's body, the head, the limbs, whatever the limbs are going to be. Then we do the monster special abilities. Then we use the table for the monster traits. Then we use monster motivations. There's 100 monster motivations. So your monster has some sort of motivation that might be a bit unusual. There's 20 different monster origins. And then we have 26 monster lair types that we can place our creature in. And then once we've done that, what I usually do is there's a few other things we fill in. And this could be everything from the monster's reproduction cycle, what sort of food the monster eats, its monster's senses, what sort of environment it lives in, how it communicates, the kind of relationship that monster has with other creatures, and then any kind of weaknesses the monster has. So this is sort of the structure for building your own monster lore. And of course, we have to give it a name as well. Okay, all right, so I'm waiting for a number for our trait. I haven't had anything from Pale Rider, so I'm going to go with 50. I rolled up 50. Insomniac. The creature doesn't need to sleep. Well, that's kind of interesting. Let's take that one. I don't think we've had that one before. Let's add this in. So we'll go here and paste. Right, cool. So there's a trait. And then we can do a monster motivation. As I said, if you don't have percentile dice, you could just come up with a number between 1 and 100. Right, so next is our monster motivation, which is a 100 table. So hashtag roll percentile dice for monster motivation. And this is the table, right? And I think we might just expand this, make this a bit bigger so it's a bit easier for you to see. Okay, you can actually see this now. So can I. It makes it a lot easier for me. Okay, so next, monster motivations. 100 different monster motivations. So I will roll. Hopefully somebody else rolls as well. I might just put a lozenge into my mouth. And what do we come up with? We came up with, I got a 75. If somebody else rolls, then I'll take their number over my number. 75 is redemption. The creature is seeking atonement for a past mistake. So it's very general, so we might have to do a bit of work with that one. So go copy. Okay, so that's another aspect of redemption. The creature is seeking atonement for a past mistake, whichever mistake that might be. And then our monster origin. Now, our monster origins is just a 20-sided dice. So if you've got 20-sided dice, this is a good time to roll. Hashtag roll a D20 for monster origin. So our monster origins, when we were making this up, we found that really there aren't that many origins that you can have for a monster. They all kind of, there's only so many different types. So we wrote down all the different sort of monster origins that we kind of see. And so you just grab a 20-sided dice. I will roll. If somebody would like to roll, that would be great. Otherwise, I'll take my number. And we've wound up with a lot of, so far I know we've got a lot of experimental problems, magical experiments, science experiment stuff. We've even had artificial intelligence. And I think there's been a little bit of infection. Today, I've rolled a 15. And so for me, unless somebody else has a roll of their own, we've got here toxic waste. Creature falls in unwanted, poisonous or dangerous chemicals. Now, I'm pretty sure we've had this one before. So, I'll mark it down or add it in there for now. But I think I would like another roll for that, another D20 roll. So either it's one of your rolls or one of mine. Because I'm not sure that I want to do another toxic waste creature, because we've had toxic waste creatures I think we did one last time, which was about 3 weeks ago. But so what if I got an 18? An 18 for monster origin. Viral infection. Any illness from a virus results in a monster. Okay, so a viral infection creates the monster. Okay, all right. Let's mark that down as well. So we'll put both in there. I will decide what to do with that later on. So we've got a couple of different options available. And then our monster lair. And since its environment is land, its lair will hopefully be on land. There's no guarantee. Okay, this is where you either roll a 20-sided dice or you roll a 20-sided dice and a 6-sided dice. Because there are 26 different monster lair types here. So hashtag roll a d20 or d20, come on, do that again, or d20 plus a d6 for monster lair type. Okay, so I need a 20-sided dice, I need a 6-sided dice. So again, monster origins table and the monster lairs type table, those are all on Patreon as well. Okay, these things have essentially been at least finished up to their first draft. Okay, so I'm going to roll the 6-sided dice and the 20-sided dice so that we get as much coverage as possible. What it does mean, though, when I do that, is we will be, of course, that will mean we'll have to exclude the arcane nexus, because on a 6-sided dice and a 20-sided dice, it only goes from 2 to 26. If we're rolling a 20-sided dice, it would go from 1 to 20. So we're eliminating the first one in this case. Okay, I will roll, and I got a 9 and a 2, which comes out as an 11, doesn't it? Pretty sure it's an 11. And that is dungeon, a deep hole, strong underground prison with cells or a series of iron cages. Okay, so we're putting it into a dungeon location. Gosh, don't all monsters pretty much live in a dungeon location? All right, let's take that one. We'll put that in there. Those of you in chat, you're welcome to roll dice and put in your 2 cents if you want to. Okay. I might roll again and try another one and see if we get something else. I don't want to pick it. You can go through the list and just pick the thing that you would like to use. You don't have to roll randomly. I'm rolling randomly because really it doesn't matter. Ultimately, in the end, I'll make it all work. Okay, so I got an 8 and a 2, which comes out as a 10. Dreams, a series of distorted thoughts, images, sensations occurring in an individual's mind. I think we had a dream creature not that long ago, actually. Okay. I'll do a 3rd roll, and then I'll just take the first one if that's it. So I got a 6 and a 3, which is 9, a demiplane. A limited interdimensional space that lies either within other planes or outside the known planes. A demiplane, I kind of like the idea of a demiplane. Let's put a demiplane in as a possibility. Okay, all right. Reproduction for this creature. So we've got down all these bits here. We've rolled them up. We've selected what we want. Before we deal with something like the monster's reproduction, the monster food, monster senses, and all that other stuff, let's have a look at what our drawing came out with. Okay, that'll probably give us a better idea of what we're dealing with here. And I will just refresh this page. No creations. That's not what I want to see. Okay, it's drawn everything. Oh my god. I feel like we've got Disney characters coming up now. Have we got some Disney characters coming? Could be. All right, let's have a look at the first lot. These are the ones I saw before. I suppose it's passable. That one's not very good. That there is... This one, the first two, but this thing on the side here is not very great. Good. I think that's pretty bad. That there is. This almost feels like. Actually, this is not too bad. It feels like we've got an adult, a young, and a baby version. There's like 3 different versions of the creature here. This is actually not too bad. I like this. It's not terrible. Let's have a look at some of the other options. We've got a very cartoony one looking at here. This is not what I was looking for. That's not bad. That's pretty good. We've kind of got the raptor head going on there. There's a bit of hair and fluff, and then legs. Actually, that image is pretty good. Actually, I like that one. The next one. What do we got here? No, I don't think so. And that is, I have no idea what's going on there. Yeah, it's a bit too cartoony. But this one here, out of all of them, I think we should upscale that one. 2 credits, should upscale it. So normally when I'm doing this, I'll use this, and when I find an image that is kind of close to what I want, I'm not suggesting you use this for publishing in any way, shape, or form, but for your own purposes and your own games, where you're making your own creatures and your own monster lore, absolutely. Okay, it's a tool. It's how I consider it. Anyway, so that's that one. That was actually pretty good. I think we'll go back here, and out of all of them, I have to say I think this is my favorite as a second drawing conceptually, so we will upscale that one as well for 2 credits. There's a download feature for this. Usually I upscale everything to a pretty high resolution, just because it just means that I get a decent image rather than sort of the worst thing you can possibly imagine. It just takes a little while. And how are we doing there? Is it going to come through? Okay, good. And we'll download that one. Okay. So we've got 2 conceptual drawings. Let's have a look at the other things. This looks awful. This is useless to us. That's a waste of time. That didn't work out at all. That there. No. I don't know. Does anybody like that one? It's sort of the grey with the sort of snout. Yeah, it doesn't work for me. No. No, too weird. I think even that is not really going to be useful to us. Let's try this one. This doesn't look too good. That looks terrible. That's awful. It's a mess. That's pretty awful too, so I don't think we'll bother with that one. And is it the last one going to actually let me show it? Gosh, come on, really? There we go. And that one there, yeah, no, it looks more raptor than anything else, so we'll leave that alone. These 2 here look like they're pretty bad. Oh, come on. It's not going to show. Let me show it. Okay, last one. Oh my. Okay. Okay, so those last 2 I can't actually look at because it's the site's not letting me open it for whatever reason. Let's try again. Okay, there we go. It opened. That's terrible. That's awful. That's a mess. And that's a mess too. I think we're just going to delete that. That's a waste of time. And then this one here. It's kind of got the raptor head. I don't know what this protrusion here is supposed to be, so that's kind of out of place. So it's got a raptor head, it's got a body. No, no, not quite what I was after. It's trying to include, I think, the horns from the llama. I think that's what's going on there. And then this here. Horns, head of... No, I don't think so. I think we'll leave that alone as well. I think the two that I saw before are probably the best ones. So we'll keep with that. And then let's go over and start working on some of the things we can deal with here. I think out of all the images, the one that I liked the most was... I think that's my favorite out of all of them. I think that's the image that we use as our template for what we're dealing with here, conceptually. So, what sort of reproduction? I think we should give it sort of like a mammal reproduction cycle, like it reproduces like a mammal, rather than asexual or anything like that. So, mammal reproduction. We'll come back to that. I don't want to have eggs. So we go here, offspring are born alive. Okay, let's just do that. What sort of food does this thing eat? Well, based off its special abilities, it's an insomniac, so this creature doesn't need to sleep, which is an interesting idea for a monster. Enslave limbs. So let's have a think about this. The creature feeds on and lays its eggs inside other creatures, and we don't want it to be feed on parasitic. So it doesn't need to lay eggs, so we're going to eliminate the egg aspect of it, but it can feed on the eggs of other creatures. Does this seem like a creature that would feed on the young of something else? I feel like it does. It has that vibe. I definitely feel like it's got the vibe of feeding on the young of something else. So let's do that. Parasitic. The creature feeds on other creatures. Eggs. And small offspring. They have to be very, very small. So let's do that. That's one of its special features. Okay. And it's supposed to be a special feature that I actually feel like this parasitic aspect of it is more... It's more a trait. It feels more like it's a trait now. So let's see what else we can do. Still parasitic in the nature, I guess. Let's just work with the word parasitic for a second. Parasitic. Related to or having the habit of a parasite, living on another organism, caused by or resulting from the effects of parasites. Okay. A close relationship between species where one organism, the parasite, lives on or inside another organism. So it really has to live on or inside another organism for it to be a parasite. We could make it very small. That would be slightly amusing. It could live on a particular animal or creature. We could make it just smaller than you would expect, and maybe that's the solution there. So it doesn't have the look of a tick or a mite or anything like that. But maybe we'll make it small. Let's shrink this little sucker down a little bit. Okay, the creature feeds on other creatures. Let's do something disgusting. I want to do something disgusting. Let's do something disgusting. Parasitic. The creature feeds on other creatures undigested, undigested food, and let's give it something that's really kind of awful, and let's make it one of its traits is it's tiny, microscopic. Let's make it really small. The creature feeds on other creatures' undigested food and is it fetal? No, feces. Feces in the stomach. All right. In the now the parasites, host creatures. Okay, and feces. That's just food. And that's not feces. That's feces in the host creatures. Stomach host creatures. Stomach. Let's put that. Okay. Undigested food, feces, parasitic. Feces. God. Feces. No. Another word for poo. Shit. Why am I having trouble spelling this? Okay. Crap, there, excrement, ooh, fecal matter. Yeah, let's do this. Fecal matter. All right, let's do that. Yeah, it's okay, fecal matter in the host creature's stomach. Okay, now we've got enslave. Parasitic, I think we're going to have to move this idea to the trait. So we'll go cut it here. Does anybody remember Stargate and the Gould? And in the Gould sort of, you know, they sort of lived inside your stomach, inside your bowel region or whatever, inside the body, and they could kind of control you that way. Oh, my so you guys have been pumping in numbers, and my chat has not on my phone has not been updating. Sorry, people. Feces, Hypnotic. Hello, Hypnotic. Thank you for being here. And we have Fred Huber. Hello, also a patron. Thank you for being here. I am so sorry I have not been able to see your comments. It only just jumped up as I refreshed it. Finally, there it is. Is your chat on all chat? Maybe it's not on all chat. Let me just check. Let me just do a switch over to my face, and let's check to make sure that that's turned on. Participants. Community moderation, toggle, pop out chat. I don't want to pop out chat. Very, very strange. Top. All messages are visible. I want all messages being visible. Okay. There we go. Now that's probably solved that problem. Ah, after all of that. So I just looked in live chat has not been, it hasn't been switched over. It's just put top chat. It's not very helpful. What's the point of doing that? Not at all. Okay, anyway. Now we're finally there. It lives in the stomach and it needs acid, and it needs acid immunity. So Fred, absolutely. I agree. I think you're quite right about that. Otherwise, they're not going to live long. Okay, so I can now switch back over to the images that I was showing you. Where was it? This is the one. And I can actually see what's going on my phone now. Ah, after all of that, what a pain. Monster Origins. You actually roll up a 12, I see. Pale Rider. And you rolled up a motivation, which was a 15 as well. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Okay, so we might just take those numbers off there now, since I can now finally see them, and then we'll go back to what we were doing. So the whole time I've been asking for numbers, Pale Rider has been pumping in numbers, and I hadn't been able to see any of those numbers. Oh, that is such a pain. All right, well, I'm really sorry about that, people. Let's drop in some of this stuff. So you had rolled and got for special features. You got was it 53? Did we get 53 on special features? I can't remember. Oh no, we got 53 special features. That's fine. Traits, you rolled a 74, an 81, and a 5. Okay, so traits. I think we're all actually probably good with the traits at this present time, but let's have a look and see what 74 was. 74 was pungent. The creature always stinks, causing vomiting and causing nausea. See noxious odor. Okay. Not going to really work if it lives in the stomach, though. 81 is Slimer. Constantly oozes mucus, allowing it to slide along surfaces quickly. Interesting. Let's grab that there. Copy. With the way it's drawn, it's probably not going to work, though, is it? Okay, let's go with 5. What else you got here? Apex Adaptation. The creature develops new traits to better suit its current environment. Let's put that in there for now. That was under monster traits, so we've got a few different things going on there. But acid immunity, going to be necessary. Acid immunity. And we'll put in your suggestion as well. Okay. All right. That's good. So we've got a few things going on here regarding the traits. And then what else did you roll that I missed? 15 on motivations. What was 15 on motivations? Cryptic. The creature shares secret knowledge with others, but in a convoluted way. Okay, we'll see about that. Motivation, redemption. I don't think that's a particularly good one either. The one that I've rolled up. It's pretty bad. It's a bit hard to work with. Anyway, what else did you have here that I had missed? Monster Origin. What was our Monster Origin on a 12? 12 was a nightmare. Creatures takes place in form of monsters. Nightmare. Okay. All right, we'll plop that in. I don't know if we'll necessarily use them. I think the two that I got there are probably good enough. I feel like viral infection's probably not bad as a working point. Okay, so next. What else did we miss here? The monster lair type. You got a 10. Let's see what your 10 was. Dreams. Okay, we came out with dreams. I'm actually kind of fine with it being the stomach is a demi-plane. Okay. All right, cool. Now, what do we got here? Finally caught up with all of this. If it lives in the stomach, it needs acid immunity. Painting and Albert doing some highlighting, fixing up some errors. Hypnotic, you keep doing that. That's all cool. How's it going anyway? All right, so we've got that. Our reproduction is this. What does it eat? Well, we know what it eats because we kind of already pointed that out, and what we've gone with is with this. it's sort of undigested food and fecal matter, or fecal matter. Sheesh. Okay, so pretty disgusting, but that's what monsters are. And then it's senses. What sort of senses does this thing have to have? Hashtag. What senses does the monster have? Okay. Let's have a think about this. Looking at our picture again, maybe that'll help. Well, it's got eyes. And it's got legs. It's got a sense of smell, but because it's got nostrils, it's probably got a taste. Something like that. Okay. Let's do a let's just mark these as a question mark for now. Eyes. Question mark. It doesn't seem to have ears, so listening is probably not going to be a big factor for it. Smell and taste and touch. Come back to that, I guess. The monster's environment. Well, okay. Let's make a dungeon is going to be, I mean, a dungeon can be anything. So even though we've got the word dungeon, what we're going to do is our dungeon is the stomach cavity. So creatures or animals, animal stomach, lives in an animal stomach. And we can probably just do a little bit of work with that. Stomach. Define. The internal organ in which the major part of digestion of food occurs. Okay. Pear-shaped enlarged, many mammals, a pear-shaped enlargement of the entry canal linking to the... Okay, all right. So let's not get too carried away. The internal organ... Let's go here for now. And let's get rid of that. And then we go here. Paste. That didn't work. Why did that not work? Let's try it again. Okay, that's better. The internal organ in which the major part of digestion of food occurs. Okay, so that's its lair. So unless you're going very fantastic voyage on the group, or you're you're shrinking yourself down, or you're going inner space like, you probably won't come across this creature very often. Oh dear, that's quite funny. Anyway, so that's what we'll use. So we won't need a demiplane. Our demiplane is this. Or do we want to include it that it can move from one animal stomach to another as part of a demiplane? That would be a horrible concept. Okay. We'll go with a question mark on that one. I'll come back to that. Alright, so moving down. Environment. Okay, so that's an animal stomach. Animal stomach. or bell. Could live in the bell. All right, how does it communicate? Jeez, that's a good question. That is a really good question. I'm not too sure how something like that would communicate. You wouldn't really be able to communicate by smell because there's so much acid, stomach acid down there. You really wouldn't be able to communicate. Oh. It's one of those things that might have to be a communication by telepathy thing. So it's either telepathy or what about body language? Communication by body language. A lot of creatures use body language. Might come back to that one. The monster's relationship. Let us go with it feeds on the monster's relationship. A parasite that consumes unwanted waste and undigested food that most animals or creatures are unaware of. Okay. I think that's kind of where it would be going. I think we want to do something with it that's a little bit wacky, and I haven't removed the enslavement aspect from the creature, for those of you who are wondering. So I'm still playing with that in my head. What would be this monster's creature? What would be this creature or monster's weakness? What is the monster's weakness? Okay, right. And let's just see if we're updating again. Okay, so I'm not sure what that monster's weakness would be. What's the weakness of a parasite? It's a parasite's weakness. Parasite weaknesses. No, not cause. Can cause weaknesses. Do parasites affect you? Do parasites drain your energy? How do you cleanse your body from parasites? Furious So, it's not going to help me, unfortunately, which is a shame. Just give me a second. Oh, here we go. Egg layer and its larvae are a parasite on dung beetles. Not having a food source, host. That's good. All right, so I can see my phone is not keeping up. It's really well behind. And for some reason, Fred Huber's comments are not showing up, which is just frustrating as. Okay. I think that's a good idea, though, Fred Huber. I think egg layer and its larvae is a parasite, dung beetles. I think I like all of that. So let's take these ideas here. And this is the relationship stuff. Paste. So egg layer, and its larvae. The monster's larvae are a parasite on dung beetles. Yes, I think that's a good idea. That's clever. Let's do that. It's an egg layer. That leaves eggs to hatch in the stomach, which is not a good thing. Terrible, terrible thing to have. All right, let's keep going. And then its weakness is not having a food source or host. Absolutely, let's do that. Paste. So not having a food source or host. I think that's definitely a good one. We'll take that down. I think another one we can add, actually, now that I think about it, is we can probably add something like, I know that even if it's immune to an acidic effect, something like alkaline would probably not be your preferred environment. Like alkaline can often be a big problem for some creatures. In fact, almost everything struggles with an alkaline stomach. This is why we had a scientist discover that having an alkaline stomach by drinking a cup of baking soda each day would probably keep you quite healthy. Nobel Prize winner, and it's not information that a lot of people are aware of. So, alkaline substances. Let's say it does not like alkaline substances. Oh, what's this? Let me see that. Pupae attaches to strawberries, and it's hard to tell from a seed. yeah, absolutely. Okay, so alkaline substances, not having a food source or a host. The monster's larvae is a parasite on, the monster's larvae are a parasite on dung beetles that threaten the species of bug. It's a bug or insect. Okay, we've got that. Relationship, we've got that. We haven't kind of got communication stuff sorted out, but that's all right. We're going to go back to our senses. I'm going to take a quick break too. But we need to have a name for this thing. I think enslave. I don't want to do the... I want to get rid of the enslave the soul thing. But I really like the idea that we could have something like this growing in your stomach, eating the food and the fetal materia, fecal matter that's in your stomach, and it has the ability to sort of maybe attach itself in some way so that it can control your body and your limbs. Not your mind, but maybe just your body. That would be quite fun. Let's consider that as a definite possibility. So, hashtag. So what is the monster called? Right, we're going to come up with some names. Name this thing while I try to sort out what this enslave ability is, because we want it to do something cool. The creature can enslave the body of its host. But not its mind. Okay, I think this is where we're going with this. Okay, the monster can enslave the body of its host, but not its mind. One of the more amusing aspects of this is that we could have it cause stomach, it could cause cravings, food cravings. So we could have the host crave eating food, so it eats more food, provides more nourishment, undigested stuff, and fetal material to be processed by our monster, whatever it's going to be called. The body snatcher. It's not a bad idea. Okay, let's work with this. You keep pumping in your names, people, and I'm going to just type this up a little bit more. So and we've got a couple of different suggestions. A gut worm. I like the idea of the gut worm. I really do. Okay, so we were going to do this. The host of the parasitic monster craves food due to the stomach constantly being emptied by the microscopic monster. Creature. Let's do that. Okay, let's put these names in that you suggested. Body snatcher. Snatcher. Okay, that's that one. And then we need another name. We've got the gut worm. This kind of reminds me a little bit of the rot grub. And then what else is this? This is not the sort of monster that you can easily fight unless you shrink down and go after it. Really, that's where we're going with this, if you hadn't figured it out. I don't know what's going on here. Why am I not picking up Fred's comments? Anyway, let's have a look here. All right. Here we go. Bingo. Just see Fred's comment come up on my phone now. Causes cravings for sweet fruit, which causes the run, so creature eats and poos its oh god, that's an awful concept, but lovely in some respects. Poos itself to dehydration and death. The infested creature. That's interesting. Okay, all right. That's horrible, utterly horrible, but let's do that. Oh dear. Okay, so this is what causes cravings for sweet fruit and foods. And foods that the monster eats Causes cravings for sweet foods and drinks by the infected animal, infected hosts that the monster eats, turning into a excretion that results in dehydration. Oh, the heck is going on here? YouTube, stop messing around. It's very annoying. Dehydration. Dehydration. Diarrhea. Diarrhea and death. Here. Lovely. Diarrhea. Excretion. Okay. Oh dear. All right, so that's an interesting development there. Like now, let's sort of work on this body control and enslavement. Okay. The parasitic monster can control the host's physical movements while present in the stomach or bowel. Now that is a terrible monster. Terrifying. I love it. The gutworm, the body snatcher. I kind of like the body snatcher a lot more. That's really fun. That's very cool. If we got some more names for this thing that you can come up with, by all means throw them my way. I should go take a break, but I don't think I will at this present time. Let's. I feel like we've done quite a lot with the special ability. We've filled that out nicely. Our monster has traits. It doesn't sleep. It's microscopic. It's parasitic. Apex adaptation. I don't know. Develops new traits to better suit its current environment. I think that's too much. I think we'll take that out. I think that's really just making this creature tiny and just really annoying. Let's take that away because it's bad enough as it is. Parasites are pretty nasty. So let's go there. Do I want to give it a swim speed? No, not really. I don't want to give it a swim speed. Redemption cryptic. So we don't have the monster motivation. Is these motivations don't necessarily work with the creature's special abilities, traits, and the other stuff that we've put forward so far. So let's work on our monster motivation so it fits a bit better. Because right now I don't think that it does. Okay. All right. Owlbear is finished. Onto the ghouls. Onto the gnolls. Well, good. I'm glad you're getting some painting done. Cryptic, the creature shares secret knowledge with others, but in a convoluted way. No. It's cryptic criminal, but in a convoluted way. Okay. Redemption. The creature is seeking to atone for a past mistake. Well, not really. This is clearly something else that's going on here. Our origins. I feel like this is more an infection. Let's get rid of this, but here, the nightmare side of things, I don't think we need that. But the viral infection, it is a... Alright, I actually like the viral infection idea, though. Any... so let's go with a specific stomach illness from a virus results in this monster forming in a host's body. Okay, let's do that. So a stomach illness from a virus, that's what we want. That's more like it. Now we're talking. And then toxic waste. Okay, so let's incorporate this a little bit more. A specific illness from a virus or toxic waste results in this monster forming in the host's body. I like that. Let's get rid of this bit here. So that's its origins. And then our animal stomach or bowel. We'll put that there. And we don't need demi-plane anymore because I think the stomach and the bowel is good enough. We're doing quite well. Let's get rid of this. And we'll just remove that. Okay. And then it's reproduction. Do that with undigested food and fecal matter. That's fine. I think that's good. Oh, hang on. Sweet fruits and foods. All right. Okay. So we've added a couple more. Let's give it a dark vision. Because like all creatures seem to have dark vision at some point, don't they? Smell. No sense of smell. No sense of smell whatsoever of smell. Okay. Taste. We'll come back to that. Touch. Animal stomach, bowel, environment, telepathy. I don't like the idea of giving it telepathy so much. It would be nice to just give it body language. Body language and grunting noises. Grunting noises. Let's just do that. Grunting, grunting, grunting. There we go. We've got our relationship. We've got our weakness. I like our weaknesses. I like our monster relationships. They're all working quite nicely. I think the telepathy thing probably should go. All right. Not bad. Mammal reproduction. The monster motivation is really its weakest aspect. Out of everything that we've got here, I definitely would say that the monster motivation is its weakest aspect. Okay. All right, so I think I will take a quick break, come back, and hopefully that give me an opportunity to come up with some ideas, and for you to come up with some ideas as well. It looks like you've redefined reading scat, much like an inkjet printer. Okay, what have you got here? Does not count as a disease, so the cure disease does not cure it. Directs the infected creature to poo in patterns that turn out to be text. That is so funny. Okay. What is the monster's motivation? And the motivations that we currently have that we're kind of working with is it redemption or cryptic? Copy. Redemption or cryptic? Cryptic. And I think that is there. All right, let me put that up. I'll go and take a quick break, go use the toilet, come back, and we will finish this up and see if we can get it sorted. Okay, won't be long. Back in 5 minutes or less. Hi, little birdie. Stop whistling, do you? No. Ugh. Okay, I'm back. Let's finish this little sucker. Oh, now. Hello, how are you? How do we do? It's actually a messenger of some being, and its purpose is to deliver the text message, which would be in some obscure language. You try to include both cryptic redemption. Okay, all right. Well, I've had a very peculiar idea. Um, I don't know how people are going to feel about this. Fred, don't feel bad. I saw your solution and your idea, and I did something else. It actually spawned this idea in my brain, and I think this is quite hilarious. So yeah, we'll see how you feel about it once I write it up. Here we go. So we'll transition back over to here. But it takes my fancy. One of, one of the things about monsters is, often monsters have unpleasant side effects, and the way that they interact with your player characters is sort of, good, bad, so forth. Let's do something odd. So redemption, the creature is seeking to redemption. The creature is seeking to reduce other creatures what we say, overweight or obesity. It's a very strange motivation. But considering it's eating all of the undigested food and the feces, it's kind of probably have that kind of effect. So let's hear. Are the creatures overweight or overweight? Eating habits. Eating habits or obesity. How's that? Let's get rid of the cryptic thing and the telepathic aspect of it, and let's go with something as bizarre as this. Not all monsters need to be bad. I'm not necessarily saying that this monster is good, but this is a different way of looking at it. Can you imagine a monster whose motivating goal is to consume the food in your stomach and fetal material so that you don't become overweight? It's almost hilarious in its nature. I almost want to add in fat cells. Like, let's have it consume fat cells as well. That would be just hilarious. So let's go with fat cells as well. Fat cells. Eventually. Okay, let's do that. That's so funny. Okay, so it can taste with its tongue. Sweet. And sour. flavors only. That's all it gets. It's either sweet or sour. It's like sweet and sour pork and chicken. Touch. Touch is detected by the hairs on its body that's how it feels. Okay, all right. So we've I've done some very strange things here today. Hopefully they all work together. Let's get rid of the telepathy thing. I think we can get rid of the telepathy thing. And this is just a really strange creature. Mammal reproduction. Offspring are born alive. I think we've established that it lays eggs now. So we'll get rid of mammal reproduction. Are born and eggs that turn into larvae. Okay. All right. So we've got most of the different aspects of our creature now. I think right now we can't really call it the gut worm because it doesn't look like a gut worm. But the body snatcher, a monster that forces you to lose weight and eat more food. How is that strange? That is pretty odd. As a monster, a creature, that is pretty odd. Even the way that it looks, living in a microscopic version in your body. It's quite hilarious as an idea. So I think we'll go with that. What have you got here, Fred? I'm just looking at your ideas. I'm ready to write in the word body snatcher. If you have a final suggestion for the name, what is the monster's name? Don't say Bob. Imagine a whole town of people pooping the same pattern and then dying. Yeah. The message turns out to be something about vegetables are bad for you. Oh dear, Fred, that's funny. That is so amusing. Oh dear, that was hilarious. The Shagar. Where did you get the idea for Shagar, Pale Rider? I'm kind of curious now. I really am. I'm going to have to type this in and see what it gets me. Where have you taken this name from? Shagar. Oh, Sugar. Ah, as in sugar. Shagar. The Shagar. That's the good guy. Oh, dear. The Shagar. Of course. The Shagar. As in the cigar. But it's the Shagar. Oh dear. It's almost tempting to have it poop in strange patterns. Name it Billy. It's not Bob, it's Billy. Shit. Oh dear. Oh boy. Right. Okay. So let's have a look. What else can we do with this before we finish up for today? Have I got any suggestions for names? I guess I still like the word the body. I like the body snatcher. I think that's quite good. Gut something. The gut something. It's not a gut bug. could almost call it the gut snatcher. Could almost call it the gut snatcher, and it would still fit in. So let's have a look here. Let's type in a few things just to fill it out a little bit. Gut snatcher. I'm not going to write down Billy because it's too funny. And I know it's done in jest. The body snatcher. What else are we going to do here? Body snatcher, gutworm, sugar. All right, I might do a poll and ask people what they think they should name this in a poll tonight. That might be something that I do for tonight. Okay, so I'm looking at this, and I know I said I wasn't going to take down your suggestions, Fred Hubber, but I'm actually definitely considering adding some of the side effects of this creature in here as well. I just think it would be hilarious. Motivation. So we might just port over some of your ideas. The belly bender. Not bad. I was doing rolls for earlier, but you weren't seeing them for some reason. Yeah, I know, Pale Rider. The problem is I've noticed that sometimes my phone doesn't show me the same thing as my as the computer screen when I'm just feeding off the main computer. I don't know why YouTube does this. It's very annoying. I did go back and have a look, Pale Rider, and take down those numbers and write some of those in and use some of that. HP's Revenge. Bender, belly bender. Let's put down belly bender as well. Belly bender just sounds too good to miss out on. Let's do belly bender. Belly bender. And I believe Fred had another suggestion here as well, which was HP's Revenge. Topographical Torment. The topographical torment. Epson's Expulsion. All right, there's a few names here, obviously, as you would expect, and I'm going to take these ideas down, and then Fred, I'm probably going to add in, I don't think they should have a poop coming out of them, because this creature's eating all their poop, but definitely some sort of excretion out of them that forms patterns would be just hilarious. Topographical Torment. Let's do this as well. Oh, this is so naughty. Okay, all right. Now, going back to motivation, you had given a suggestion which I looked at and I was like, nah, let's not do that. But let's do something with that. That's quite funny. Message. Okay, so let's motivation. Okay, the pattern from the host's excretion has the message now let's message: don't overeat, eat sugar and exercise. Okay, apart from the host's excretion, here's the message. You don't message. Let's do this. Don't overeat. Eat sugar. Exercise regularly. Shit. What else is there that we can put in here that would be quite entertaining? And vegetables are bad for you. So let's put in a couple of really odd messages that it's trying to partake. It's the pattern from the host's excretion has the message from the parasitic monster. Yeah. Don't overeat, eat sugar, exercise regularly, and vegetables are bad for you. Yeah, let's do that, and then let's put in a little extra to this. These are times where things get a little bit out of hand, and this is one of those times. What do you do when you get a guzzle down? What do you get when you guzzle down sweets? Okay, next. Okay. The infected creature has an excretion pattern that turns out to be a. I think we're almost there. This is very, very silly. I'm saying it now, but the. Now, where am I putting it? I might put it under motivations. We'll do this. We'll go cut here. We'll cut there. We'll cut there. Put that here. And paste. The infected creature, infected host. Releases an odd excretion that has a pattern, has a pattern to it that has a pattern to it that turns out to be text in the host's spoken language. This is some strange stuff, people. God. Ah, dear. All right. That there is some very, very silly stuff. Nut says, life's better with bacon. To read the magic. You want them to have to cast read magic? Come on. Read languages? You mean comprehend languages? They're going to use comprehend languages? You want it in a dialect or a Jeez. I don't know. I don't know. I think that we might be, maybe we're pushing it just pushing the whole thing a little bit too far. We're going to make the message that they get, and yeah, you're going to get a message that's in a language you don't understand. Mm. Um. Okay. All right. Let's have a go. Let's have a look at this. Okay. The infected host releases an odd secretion that has a pattern to it that turns out to be text in a unknown language. Language that can only be deciphered by casting a read or comprehend languages spell. Oh, jeez. All right. Decipher. Why can I not get decipher work and decipher? There we go. All right. So we've made it that the message is in a language that people will not understand unless they have a magic spell. How's that? That is some nuts stuff there. That is some really whack. It's a really whack monster. Dear. I think my favourite is definitely the body snatcher or the gut snatcher. Even the belly bender is kind of entertaining. Topographical torment. But yes, we've got our special abilities, which is very, very strange. We've got our monster traits. We've got our monster motivation, which is quite involved this time. Our monster origin, our lair, which is the stomach of a creature or its bowel, its reproduction cycle, what food it eats, its monster senses, its environment, its language, its relationships, and its weakness. So yeah, when you get this, drink lots and lots of baking soda. that's the solution. If you want to get rid of it, it's baking soda. Ah, dear, that was hilarious. I miss doing these. It's one of my favourite things is making monsters of everybody. Anyway, I think we're done for today. I should go to work. So tomorrow, for those of you who are here and for those of you who are interested, back me or basic Dungeons and Dragons character building for the magic user. I feel like I'm ready to do that. We'll see how we go. So yes, I will be making a back me magic user, which is basically, originally it was called the magic user. Now it's called the wizard. Basically, that's really it. We're basically making a wizard for basic D&D or back me D&D. So yeah, make sure you show up tomorrow for that, and that should be a lot of fun. And I look forward to people's feedback and the process of building this little sucker. Anyway, I want to say a huge thank you to everybody who was here today. I do apologize for the fact that I was not able to keep a track of the chat as well as I normally have been able to. Just there seems to be an awful lot of going on with YouTube and live streams right now, and I don't think it's gotten better. I think it might have actually gotten worse. Thank you for voting in the poll. I do appreciate it. It looks like we started off with land and then went to subterranean. Subterranean wound up being inside of somebody's stomach or a creature's stomach, so that was quite interesting. So we actually wound up going in the right direction. So yeah, big huge thank you to Fred Huber, Hypnotic, Pale Rider. All of you have been wonderful in trying to provide me with some feedback as we go down this really strange pathway, which wound up being basically a poo monster, really, or a monster that feeds on poop. That's where we wound up. So whether you've been watching or listening, hey, thank you for being here. I know these live streams can be quite long, and it's always an attempt to sort of get your head thinking about stuff and to have a bit of fun and have a good laugh as well. And it looks like I will be putting up some of these monsters. I don't know about all of them, but some of these monsters up on Patreon, and at least the unfinished version. So look, wherever you are in the world, whether it be the morning, the afternoon, the night, or the wee early morning, please look after yourself, your family, and your friends. Be nice to your neighbours. And hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s.